Plus honoring a life lost at the hands of Minneapolis police. People in downtown Fargo joined millions around the world to remember George Floyd 1 year after his death.
And an armed robber is on the loose after threatening 2 convenience store clerks working the overnight shift. But first, family, friends, and co-workers are saying their goodbyes today to a West Fargo police lieutenant who died of a heart attack last week while on duty. 40-year-old Adam GUSTAFSON worked for West Fargo PD for more than 10 years and is remembered for his dedication, teamwork, and service.
North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum has ordered flags at half-staff today to honor Lieutenant GUSTAFSON, who also served his country in the Army National Guard. The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joins us live this morning with a preview of today's services. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan and Lisa. It's actually going to be right here at Northview Church, and letting you know as well that yes, he did spend 10 years in the West Fargo Police Department service, but also leaves behind a wife and 3 children as well. Now also letting you know when it comes to these delays, as law enforcement and family arrive right here to this church for the funeral around 10 this morning, there are road closures and delays. 25th Street will be closed from 34th to 37th Avenue South in Fargo until the vehicle possession has passed. Now the doors will open at 11:30 this morning, with masks being optional. Public parking will be available at Northview Church. Law enforcement will direct the public as they arrive. The funeral will begin at 1 in the afternoon. This service is open to the public, but no photos, videos, or audio recordings will be allowed during this funeral service. Attendees will only be allowed to bring in a small personal handbag. Following the service, the public is asked to remain seated while the family and law enforcement exit the church. It'll be a short ceremony with a 3-volley salute and playing of the taps. So like you just mentioned, there is going to be the half-staff that Governor Doug Burgum is asking for all the flags to be there, but also letting you know that if you happen to have one at your home, or let's say you have one at your business, you are encouraged to do the same exact thing with your flags. Also letting you know that you can see all of these full details at valleynewslive.com. So again, please plan accordingly if you plan on traveling to this service or plan on traveling through the Fargo area to get to your destination later on today.
Brian Sherrod reporting live. Thank you for that update. Now, schools along the funeral procession will also be dismissed early today ahead of the road closures. Centennial and Kennedy Elementary Schools will finish classes at 1:20, and Discovery Middle School will end their day at 2 o'clock.
All West Fargo City offices will be closed today for the funeral. Fargo Police and Fire Departments and the Cass County Sheriff's Office will be taking all of West Fargo's emergency calls so employees can go to the funeral. There will also be no garbage pickup today or tomorrow in West Fargo.
It's now 9 minutes before 7. Let's get a check of our chilly forecast as we start off our Wednesday morning. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Yes, chilly, and in a lot of places kind of gloomy out there too to start the day. You're going to want that jacket this morning. This is our view in Devil's Lake. We've seen the sun come out, though you can still see that we do have some clouds overhead and in the vicinity. Gradually, over time, we're going to get rid of these clouds and get some sunshine across much of the region here today. So that's something to look forward to, and that'll be nice given how cool we are and will be. We're looking at temperatures around the region into the 30s to low 40s in Devil's Lake. 36 degrees currently. That wind out of the northeast, a steady speed in 15 miles per hour, and we are gusting in spots into the 20s. It's 37 in Grand Forks, 40 in Fargo, and a little milder in Jamestown at 43, but we're still running a good 20 degrees cooler than yesterday morning in a lot of spots, and some 30s into Fergus Falls and Bemidji. So a cool start, still a little breezy out there. It's making it feel like we're more into the freezing range in a lot of places. And then of course we've got those clouds overhead that will eventually give way. We'll end up with some sunnier skies coming up for midday especially. So here's a look at our bus stop planner. Won't be much longer that we'll be showing this. We're looking at summertime coming up here for a lot of kids, and it's not going to feel like it so much today. We're going to be seeing those temperatures out at the bus stop this morning in the low 40s in Fargo, and then this afternoon only getting into the 50s. I think we may see 60 in the far south, but that's as warm as we go. Some partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies before our next system approaches for later tonight and into the overnight hours, and that'll be more for the south. That cloud cover will actually help to protect us in the southern valley. Northern valley, we're going to be clear. So just want to give you this heads up that we have the threat for frost, widespread frost potentially overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. Basically Highway 2 and north from there, 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. So again, into the morning hours tomorrow. And so if you've got those flowers out, if you've started your garden, you're going to want to take those measures to protect them. And this may happen again into Friday as well, with some cool temperatures and more clear skies around the region on Friday too. So next couple of days, want to pay attention to our overnight lows. We've got that chance for rain. It will be mainly south overnight tonight, and then tomorrow Fargo and Point South could see a little mix in that as well, with temperatures as cool as they are. And then the holiday weekend, starting cool, will be in the 60s on Saturday. There is a chance for some showers. It's not going to be all weekend long. And we'll start to warm up on Sunday a little more, or a lot more, a good 10-degree leap there. And then on Memorial Day itself, we'll see temperatures back into the upper 70s for Fargo and in surrounding areas, and some sunshine.
Some big changes on that 7th day. I mean, we were at like August high temperatures and now 50s and rain, so be prepared. All right, Lisa, thank you.
It's now 6 minutes before 7, 15 years after the disappearance of 3-year-old Rochelle Smith in Minot. The police chief says the case is closed and the only suspect in her disappearance killed herself. Investigators say they believe Smith died at the hands of Lee Cowan, who was later found to have died by suicide due to carbon monoxide poisoning.
Police say they found a substantial amount of biological substance in a cooler that was determined to be Rochelle's blood. They still don't know a motive, and the child's body was never recovered. Yesterday marked the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd's death.
He was killed when former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin kneeled on his neck for 9 minutes. People from the Fargo-Moorhead area rallied to keep his name alive. Some believe coming together holds a strong message as the community works for change.
It shows some support, it shows strength in numbers, it shows that we won't change. And we tired of asking for change, we in the process now demanding it.
Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney and Police Chief David Zabolski issued a joint statement saying the city has zero tolerance for any form of discrimination and that the city is remembering the impact made by George Floyd.
Floyd's immediate family traveled to Washington, D.C. to meet privately at the White House with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Afterward, the Floyd said much of the discussion focused on the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act.
They said the president is not happy that the legislation hasn't yet reached his desk. Biden hoped to sign the bill into law by the anniversary of Floyd's death, but it hasn't yet passed the Senate. Floyd's family called the meeting a genuine display of support from the president and the vice president. Meanwhile, Minneapolis police are investigating reports of shots fired near George Floyd Square yesterday morning. A caller told dispatchers that a vehicle was seen speeding away from the area after those shots.
A short time later, one person showed up at a nearby hospital with a gunshot wound. Police say their injury is not life-threatening, and there's no word yet on any suspects. Rescuers have not yet found any survivors after a firefighting Black Hawk helicopter with 4 people on board crashed in Florida. The chopper crashed into a marsh area near the airport in the central part of the state.
Rescue crews say they have recovered 1 body. The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board will investigate to determine the cause of that crash. Becker County authorities are looking for this man who robbed the Cenex convenience store in Audubon. He passed a note to the clerk around 1 yesterday morning demanding cash and indicating he had a gun.
He got away with money and some cigarettes. The clerks never saw a gun and they were not hurt, luckily. A canine was brought in for a track but could not locate the suspect. We're learning more about a Fargo nightclub where police say one of the employees was shot and killed in the parking lot. 28-year-old Dominique McNair was shot and killed just after 2 Sunday morning, but police so far have not made any arrests. Valley News Live dug into violations recorded by the city on the Africa Bar and Nightclub and found violations against the bar go back to early December 2020. When reports say police found the nightclub in violation of the state's mask mandate.
Records from February say that Fargo police officers were called to a large fight in the nightclub's parking lot just before bar close. Police later documented that people were still inside the Africa Bar after 2 a.m., many of them still holding bottles of alcohol. The bar's owner, Francis Brown, later pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor in relation to the incident and was sentenced to 11 months of unsupervised probation. We tried speaking with the bar's owner several times on Monday, but he declined to comment and also denied that this weekend's gunshot victim works for him. The Fargo Liquor Control Board has not issued any sanctions against that bar.
The U.S. border in northwestern North Dakota recently seized more than $6 million worth of marijuana at the crossing in Portal. The commercial shipment was labeled as plastic containers, but agents opened up the boxes and found 3,700 pounds of pot. One person was arrested.
They also seized a 645,000 Canadian dollars at the border in another case. It came in through a passenger vehicle and was worth more than 535,000 US dollars. You can only carry $10,000 or less across the border. This has to be a once-in-a-lifetime traffic stop for the North Dakota Highway Patrol. A woman from Washington was stopped twice on Sunday for speeding on I-94. Now, she was pulled over near Cleveland in Stutsman County and ticketed for going 90 into 70, and then was pulled over about an hour later near Castleton.
But here's the weird part. The woman had 2 goats in her back seat. She told troopers she was heading to New York from Washington with the animals and that the goats were driving her nuts. I guess that's a good excuse for speeding.
Ma'am, why did I pull you over? Well, I got these goats in the back, you see.
They're driving me nuts.
All right, well, let's get the answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question today is, 61% of couples have argued about this.
Goats in the back seat?
Maybe.
Maybe. That percentage is kind of high. The real answer, rinsing dishes before putting them in the dishwasher.
And you say what on that, Lisa?
Yes, you do need to rinse
You
them.
do. I also am team rinse, so I'm glad. Okay, we could live together. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley today, it rolls on. We have more live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up for you right now on the Fargo CW.